Yeah, just before we start, obviously I'm Kevin and Troy co-hosting this, and we just want to make it really clear that what we're doing is it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. Neither is Troy. Everything you can read there on the disclaimer. Basically, I'm sharing what I've learned over the years, and also what I do on a personal level. So yeah, take what you can with your big boy or big girl pants on. Learn what you can, and yeah, just make it useful in your life, but also understand the risks and do your own research.
Just know that we're not financial advisors, and the things that you do is all yourselves. You're all adults, so exactly. Basically.
So in this webinar, I'm hoping to impart, how to organize and protect your capital and manage risks with cryptocurrencies. Also, how you can get started and organize your tools to take advantage of the opportunities in the cryptocurrency space. And finally, how to and make money trading Bitcoin and altcoins. So, what is Bitcoin? I won't raffle on too much about this because most of you already know what Bitcoin is. It's basically a peer-to-peer payment process, but it's also like a blockchain technology, and there's a whole bunch of stuff around it that you can learn about online. And I have set up a place for you guys to get resources on that. But things is that it's a finite digital resource in an infinite world. So I'm trying to mute all these other calls coming through. Sorry about that. Is everyone muted?
Yeah, they are, bro.
It's a finite digital resources in an infinite world. So as a lot of you would have been listening on the news, the US just keeps printing money. All these countries just keep printing money, and eventually the money's worth zilch, just like it is in is Zimbabwe or one of those countries where the currency's just gone down the drain. Whereas Bitcoin, there's like 21 million that are being minted, and so it's a finite resource. You can't copy it. It's digital, spread across the internet on anyone that's got nodes for Bitcoin. And also, it's a tool that basically allows you to send not only value but trust. Can you hear me?
Sorry, bro. I accidentally muted you. Okay. I'm on fire. I accidentally muted you, mate. We didn't want to hear you talk anymore. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So with Bitcoin, think of it like email. When email first came out, or even SMS, you don't need to know programming. You don't need to be a maths whiz. You don't need to understand SMTP protocols and IMAP and POP and blah blah blah. It's the same thing as like sending an email or texting. You just you don't need to know the technology, but you can use it. It's a practical use, it's like any other technology in its infancy. People are kind of like, oh, I want to know the ins and outs, but in order to take advantage of it, you really don't need to know the programming behind it. You can dig deep if you want, but I'll share resources later. So why am I doing this now, and why is the cryptocurrency space sort of blowing up again? It sort of did in 2017 and then back again now. Well, essentially there's 2.6 million Bitcoin left to mine, right? And even though 18.4 million of them have been mined over the last 10 years, because Bitcoin came out in 2009, the way that the protocol works, it halves every couple of years. And so there's 120 left to mine the last 2.6 million. So essentially the speculative value on it is just going to keep going up. The other thing is obviously COVID has changed the world drastically and left many people out of work, or smashed a lot of businesses, mine included. So some of you may know I'm here in Thailand, and I've got an eco resort here, but then I've also got restaurants around, and back home in Australia I've got music businesses around. So that's like hospitality and live entertainment, and they both basically got shut down because of COVID. And then the governments haven't stepped up to help as well. There's been a couple of checks here and there, stimulus checks, but they're going to run out soon. And then there's basically like a lot of these old financial systems that are failing, and people are looking for different solutions. So the economy is really shifting at a rate that, you know, we haven't really seen or as a species. Like people are comparing things to, you know, the Great Depression or history, but the speed that we're moving at now is unheard of. So there's definitely a lot of uncertainty around. So a little bit about me, just as I mentioned, my life kind of reads like a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or any Forex chart. You know, there's ups and downs just like everyone else. So for me, you know, the market opened 1980s. I was born in the Philippines, but I was bred in Australia. That's me in the little Spider-Man outfit. And then life went up and down. I built a career out of doing retail, music, restaurants, door-to-door sales, and graphic design and web design, and yeah, toured the world as an international touring musician. And first time I heard about Bitcoin was in 2012. And at the time, it was just like a bit of a novelty for me. A couple of uni friends had mentioned it to me, and I wish I bought more Bitcoin at that time, like everyone else. But you know, I was lucky enough to sort of hear about it. Time, you know, $13. It was like, yeah, this is, you know, it's a cool little novelty to have. So I did pocket a little bit at that time, and yeah, sort of made it out of the western suburbs of Sydney into more sort of. I thought I was doing the right thing in my life, and you know, had the money, the career, had got married on an island in Philippines, which had like 100 people. I was like ticking off all the life boxes, I guess, and hitting successes. And oh, sorry, unfortunately, my father passed away like a month after my wedding, and the mortality of it sort of hit me really hard. And I basically went, okay, how do I fill his shoes? How do I take care of mom? How do I take care of my family? Like all this stuff that I built up in the past that ticked the boxes of being successful and happy, just sort of, you know, got blown apart for that period of my life. And knowing the type of person I am, where it's just like, keep going, keep going, keep going. What happened was, you know, that for me was like a crash in the market. But I did the total opposite thing by working harder to try and fill my dad's shoes. That's me. Like I was flying business class to Dubai somewhere, and I had 3 screens growing. I was like, oh, look at me. I'm such a working nerd, and I'm doing everything great, and blah, blah, blah. And basically, like I thought, you know, things were going great because, okay, Bitcoin also went up, and it's like, oh, I've got a little bit more to you know, live the life, smiles on the outside kind of thing. I thought I was getting fitter and healthier because I was like investing in, you know, optimal performance and do your hustle and all that sort of thing. And I thought I was almost, you know, invincible. That's me doing like canyon jumping and a mud run. I actually did the Tough Mudder, but the reality was like I was super overworked. That's me and my business partner like crashed to sleep on the plane. And my life at that time was filled with stuff that I wouldn't say was horseshit, but is kind of horseshit, sorry for swearing, but like literally when I did that mud run, I ended up in hospital 3 days later because I jumped in a big thing of mud, like what was mud and shit. And so I literally had horse shit in my system, and my sinus and my ear and everything popped up. I was in hospital for a couple of days, actually. You can see how jacked up my face was there. So again, like the lesson kicked in. It's like, if you try and go too hard, too fast, you're going to crash again, right? So that was end of the year, crashed out. So start of the year, you can see Bitcoin dropped in price as well. It's now at 750. And because I'd been sick and out of work, I had to move out of my apartment, or move into an apartment, and basically pick council scraps. So like, you know, furniture on the side of the road. And I was like, oh, I'm going to upcycle this and, you know, make something out of it. That's me, like coming from a scrapyard, up things to build, you know, my studio and like that. And yeah, working with like tiny little power tools and thongs. Couldn't afford like big tools or anything like that. If you see over here, that's actually my coffee table for like the first couple of months in the apartment I was living in, was made out of a washing machine and a chopping board. So, you know, all this stuff that I was sort of building up in the past was, you know, I had to start from scratch, basically, from getting sick. And eventually, you know, I was ready, built the apartment out and ready to take care of mum. And then end of the year, she also passed 2 days before Christmas and 3 days after my birthday. So again, like the roller coaster was like, right? So, you know, can anyone see like a pattern emerging here, right? There's you know, these rallies going up, and then you see these flash crashes coming down. But anyway, so you know, I hit my all-time low essentially. Bitcoin had crashed back down to 200. I was depressed, starting to like gain weight and be unhealthy, and then I did the same thing as before by masking it and by working even harder. I was at this property conference trying to get into the property game, and then I had a stroke. So that basically floored me. I was paralyzed from the left side down, yeah, basically like I was on 67 different pills for like 9 months. And I just had to, you know, pack up and leave and get out of town. So I ended up coming to Thailand, where I spent time changing my mindset. So psychology is super important. Getting on top of my finances, getting on top of all the little things that I was doing in my lifestyle to make things more sustainable. So from there, I opened up, I co-owned a vegan restaurant in Thailand. And then we, you know, ended off the year, like there was a little bit of a change, and suddenly the market was going up for me. All right. That continued the following year, like opened up a cafe as well. And then since then we've opened up 4 more restaurants around Thailand. And then that's where I had an idea to basically build a place for other people to, you know, not experience the same things that I did, but to basically avoid creative burnout and get a hold on their finances and you know, life balance more. And set about doing that throughout the year. You know, that picture that you see there is like an IKEA bowl and a chopping board. And that idea turned into reality. Unfortunately, life had other plans, and my ex at the time had a motorbike accident. She broke a leg, and while I was trying to build a place for, you know, rest and respite, she unfortunately found respite in someone else. So then, you know, there was another correction in the market, let's just say, called divorce.
Your life is Bitcoin's life. Like, you are like Bitcoin in human form.
Yeah.
The amount
It's
of time.
up and down. Yeah. Like, you know,
I noticed that before, Kev.
It's yeah. But, you know, my mentality had changed. I got my sort of my trading plan or my life plan in order prior to that. So, like I say there, I got my eat, pray, love on, you know, and still kept moving forward. Like, okay, this, like, I'm used to the pattern now. It's going up and down, and whether it's going up, down, sideways, whatever, there's ways to get around things, right? So I started the year pretty much like that. I don't know if you can see because of the slide remote. Yeah. And I really, you know, embedded myself into learning about crypto and Bitcoin and a little bit of trading, but yeah, definitely like embedding myself into the education. And I remember at the time I was doing these things where, like, if it was in the too hard basket or it would take too much time, that'd be the first thing I'd do on my to-do list so that I could, you know, eat that frog, so to speak, and get it out of the way. So the you know, market started heading up as well. This was you know, 2017, and finally finished the first stage of the resort. And then I was lucky that I, you know, met Roscoe Patterson, who was running Break Into Bitcoin and Build the Future. And through him, some of you here might have also met him or done the Break Into Bitcoin course. And he just like totally opened up my world to the possibilities of not just cryptocurrencies as a you know, money making tool or trading or anything like that, but like how you can start up businesses in it, how you can get involved helping others, how you can basically build the future. So yeah, it was a, you know, a crazy sort of time. I got involved in things. I made money, I lost money. A lot of other people also made money. A lot of people lost money because it was just in its infancy. But essentially getting in around that time and learning through failure and success catalyzed my future in the blockchain cryptocurrency space. So at the end of that year, I'd managed through cryptocurrency to raise almost $750,000 to make a total pool of about 1.4 million that then went towards the development of the rest of the resort and some other projects. So at the end of that year, the reality was actually that's when Bitcoin crashed. Like a lot of people got in, towards the end of 2017. The day I got funding via crypto for my project was December 17, so a day before my birthday. And then that was also the same day that things started going down. So I was like extremely lucky, like talk about like making it right at the last minute. So start of the following year, this is 2019 now, 2018, Bitcoin started going down, went from about 20K to 14K. So in reality, it was crashing, but my mentality was like, this is just the beginning. For the first time in my life, I actually put myself first and was able to start taking care of my health first before everything else. And then it was really crazy. Like that first month I was spending in Thailand taking care of myself. I was in a cafe and then met this guy, Chardon, who just overheard a phone call that I was talking to someone else, helping them set up their Bitcoin account. And he's like, oh, I've got Bitcoin. Can you, help me with it as well? Can we talk about it? And then from there, we started talking about the resort project. He came and saw the resort. Next minute, he's an investor and he's like, I've got a place in Norway. Let's do the same thing over there. So like, Bitcoin, crypto, everything just kind of blew up again. Even though the price was going down, because I built up a stash prior to that, and I was now in the space where I wasn't just, trading or making money from it, but like getting involved in business. We were invited to a whole bunch of different things. We went to Africa. We did the Roscoe's, some more of Roscoe's things back in Queensland, the Build the Future thing. I was playing a lot more music and I was so much more happier when I was playing. I visited all these places around the world, and every time I was like using crypto to buy, a plane ticket or staying in a hotel. And this was during a time when people were like, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, crypto's a scam. You can't buy anything practical with it. And
I was going to say, this will all make sense, guys, in about 10 minutes when we get to the next slide. Because what we're doing is showing you guys like how accumulation is key, even through sideways and downward markets, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, even if it's going down, like you can still make money on the way down and so on. But you need to get your market psychology, right first. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to get through here. Sorry about the long last life story, but so eventually, got together a team of people. And then along the way, I also met other crypto enthusiasts who believed in the project and were like, okay, I'll fund your project, or I'll send you some crypto and I'll help you out and whatever. And for them, it was like, here's a couple of Bitcoin here and there, and other cryptocurrencies. And eventually, I learned so many things, and that changed my outlook on life. I met a new girl who we were working on the project, and then now my partner. We've been together for 2 years. I got my handstand game on, and the resort was pretty much finished by the end of the year, and we launched, right? And the following year, it was a bit of a rally, right? The year started off 3,300, but then as we moved forward throughout the year, there've been flash crashes and different things like that. But because of crypto, I've been able to do all these things. I helped Chardon build his website. We did a Trash Hero program. That's the kids in the middle there, where we clean up the beach and just the lifestyle for me now is so much more different than what I was before, where I was constantly stressed. And I've got my own little crypto kitties as well there. And I even became, back up here, I became an ambassador for a body paint thing, which is like, I never thought I'd ever be doing that, but here I am sharing that at the end of the year. And then now the resort started 2020, like, full house. We were getting customers coming through, and then COVID hit, right? There was a massive crash in the market, back down to 3,800. But because of all this other experience and education and everything else that had happened in the past, not just by myself, but other people in the space, it shot back up, really, really quickly. The market recovered to, 12,000 for now. And, despite all this like FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that people are spreading around, it's like, you can see that it's still going along. And, now we're at this point where there was this guy in the pool, and I remember him reading this book. Everyone's saying this, basically everything's stuffed up for this year, but the year's not over. So
perfect time when everyone else is saying that it's that. My one's not going to be like Kev's, guys. Mine's literally 3 photos. So I got Kev to really go into detail because it's helping him out with it. But it's like, so basically I got into crypto actually in 2016, but 2017 bull run hit and happy days. And here was me partying, being a rock star. And then as you want to press that next photo there, Kev? Yeah. I'm not going to go into detail, guys, because you've heard Kev's life story and I won't go into detail with mine. But basically me and Kev met in early 2017. We've been mates ever since. I'm an investor in Kev's Artesia project. And the thing that drew me to Kev was his genuine, authentic nature. I'm sure that's the thing that's drawn a lot of you guys to Kev. I can see a lot of his friends and colleagues are on this call, but there's new people as well. And I think this is a great introduction to Kev and also, an intro to myself. But Kev and I have been really close for the last few years, and I believed in Kev and his project big time, and it's really been a fantastic time. And even through that downturn of 2017, 2018, and now in 2019, I call it consolidation. I had some massive wins myself. Here's me meeting Gary V, one of my personal motivational idols. And then here's a picture of my beautiful family, my 4 kids and wife. And what crypto's given me is a lifestyle where I can be financially free. I can spend time with my kids, and it's about pushing through the hard times of the downturn of 2018, 2019, which we're really starting to see the fruits of the reward now. But what we're going to show you soon is that this is all market cycles, guys, right? So even though people are like, oh, Bitcoin's $12,000, it's too late for me to get in. Someone actually said that back when it was $1,200. And someone said that when it was $200. And Kev said that when it was $13 because he wishes he got in at 1 cent, right? So this is what we're showing you here is these market cycles. You can see here that you got 11, 2013, 2016, and it's always the same thing. It's the same things every single time. Bitcoin's a bubble. That's going to burst. It's a fad. It's a scam. It's going back to 100. Bitcoin's a bubble. It's a fad. It's a scam. It's going back to 1,000. And then in 2016, it's going back to 3,000. And you'll hear the same people on Twitter and all these other things saying now that it's going to go back to 3,000. Oh, it's at 12,000 now. It's going to go back to 7,000. Like you can see that it's just history repeating itself. And if anyone knows about markets and how they work, they literally repeat themselves over and over and over again. And Bitcoin's proven to have 2 solid 4-year cycles. And this is where we're at now, right? So we're coming back into that run where people can really capitalize.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, looking back on your own life, you can sort of think back and go, it's whether they were financial or not. How many felt really catastrophic, but then they turned out to, or how many were like, oh, this is the best day ever, and then they turned out to be your worst nightmares. It's market cycles. That's why they're called cycles, because they keep going around. And you're here now learning about something that will add to your life, whether you take action on it or not after this call, because you'll have a better comprehension of the topic at hand. And next time you'll hear, oh, Bitcoin's gone to the moon, or Bitcoin's going to die again. I think it died like 1,800 times or something like that. There's actually a website for
exactly.
it.
There's a whole
all we're trying to impart here is that your perspective should be can be widened through this. Like you see, there's big run ups and then pullbacks and all that. They're so tiny in the grand scheme of things. What's of particular interest is this part here where this was a 1-year chart of Bitcoin for 2017, and we reached this point 3,500. And then if you look, this is where we are now. So this was back then, right? 2017. It looked huge back here. It was like, that's where it dropped, and people were like, oh, losing money and whatever. And then we're here now, and it's the same sort of scenario. So, the question is, where will you be in terms of the cycle? Are you going to get in at the top or at the bottom or whatever, or regardless of how you get in, thinking of perspective, this is a long-term thing that you can be a part of. Here's another example of where, so this chart here is from, the 16th of December when that sort of crash happened. But really, in the grand scheme of things, it's actually just a correction, because there's that chart, and in the grand scheme of things, it's gone up and down. And then this is where, this was a couple of weeks ago already, but you can sort of see, what I was talking about before with patterns in life and things happening. You just, zoom out your perspective. And a couple of other things is like, back in 2018, the PayPal CEO said, Bitcoin's gone to zero. And then in 2020, PayPal is now, adopting Bitcoin. And then
you can accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And exactly. Yeah. There's so many more retailers than where it was.
Yeah. So all these institutions last year or in the last year or so have started getting in, where they're like, okay, people are going to jump into this thing. How can we get their money? Because what do you think Australia Post is doing with people, buying Bitcoin from them with, 5.9% fees? They're going to be trading it as well, or investing it in other things, right? There's also websites like Living Room Satoshi, where you can pay like anything with BPay. Basically, you can use different cryptos. You don't just have to use Bitcoin. And in saying that, there is Bitcoin, which is the main, grandfather kind of thing, but there's over 7,500 other coins that you can now trade, and they all have different functions and different values. In Australia in particular, you can also get paid in Bitcoin. There's this website you can go to where people, you can register for your employer. For those of you who still have jobs, you can register for your employer to basically pay part of your salary in Bitcoin to you. I'm not sure if you can do it with contracting as well, but I definitely, offer it to some clients. But yeah, if you want to know more about, the intricacies of Bitcoin, how it works and all that sort of thing, you can go to this address here, lob.net/Bitcoin.
Make sure you write that down, guys. This is where me and Kev got lots of our information from.
Yeah. You can really go down the rabbit hole and learn, a bunch of different things. I also set up a page on my website where you can get started. Like the stuff I put there is pretty, quick sort of content. It's meant for like you already kind of know a little bit about the space. So I don't go into detail about explaining, the technology side. But if, you need to reach out to me, you can hit me up anytime on Messenger. So, okay.
So I'll probably just say, guys, just before we get started, sorry, Kev. So we're obviously really conscious of everyone's time. So we are going to try and keep this to an hour. If you do have like questions and stuff though, guys, like feel free to whack them, put them in the chat. And we'll definitely try and answer as much as we can at the end. But yeah, we're going to try and get through this, and then so we're not taking up too much of your time, but we hope you get a fair bit out of it though.
Yeah, we're going to try and give as much value as possible in this.
Yeah,
so, I'm going to speak a little bit faster. So, one of the main things in this that I want to impart is like, don't lose your money, right? You're here to make money, to invest. Some are here to build a business, whatever it is, don't lose your money. I think Ray Dalio says it, right? There's two rules. Rule 1 is don't lose money. Rule 2 is don't forget rule 1. So, how do you not lose money? Well, there are 5 principal protection protocols that we've come up with, where it's easy to remember if you just remember armor, like putting armor on yourself. So you allocate your assets, remove temptation, minimize your risk, remember others ahead, there are others ahead, and then ride the wave. So what does it mean? So to allocate your assets, or think of it as segment your soldiers. You've got different assets, and you've got like an army of your coins and whatever currencies you have. And if you're in a fight, you're not, or in a war, you're not just going to send all your soldiers in one go. You might have some people flanking, some people waiting back here, and so on and so forth. So you could use that analogy, like you as a general, moving your pieces around on a war board. Or you could also think about it as buckets. What am I going to be using now? Like what do I need to earn this week to pay rent and put food on the table? Make sure I put that in bucket number 1. What am I going to need, in the next month or the next 3 months? Allocate that in the soon bucket, and then in your later bucket, it's like, hey, what am I going to need in 10 years or in retirement or for the kids or whatever it is, everyone's got different financial obligations and responsibilities and dreams and all that. So I won't go into too much detail, but you understand the concept, right? Now, soon, or later. So think strategically and tactically about what you're going to be doing with your assets, and never put all your soldiers or all your all your eggs in one basket. So separate them into different things. And then the second protocol is remove temptation. So separate yourself from your profits. So if you've got something that you're saving away for little Timmy for when he grows up and goes to college, don't dip into that savings just because you think you heard, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to rocket to 14,000. I might borrow from that and then trade it and then I'll put it back in. Like, just don't hide the temptation, remove the temptation. So as an example, in what I do, so I have this little like Trezor device, and basically anything that I'm saving long term, I put it into this device, and it kind of it's like a little safe for me, because for me to move my coins out of here, I have to plug it into the computer first, or I have to find it first. Sometimes like I hide it and I misplace it or whatever, but I have to find it, plug it into the computer, do the transfers into my account and blah, blah, blah. 10 minutes later, I'm like, I can't be bothered trading or anything like that. So I'm removing the temptation for myself to like take, life savings out. So yeah, don't eat away at your cookies, basically. Same with for those people of you who run businesses. If your business is doing well, don't start taking money from your business to then go, oh, I'm going to trade it on this and whatever, and eat into that. So yeah, keep things separate. And then next is minimize your risk. So obviously, don't take bets you can't recover from. And there's a way that we do this, particularly in the trading market, but you can apply it to anything else in life, really, where you only risk a certain percentage of your total basket, I'd say. Don't go into anything you can't afford to lose. So say you've got $100 or $1,000 or $1 million, whatever it is. If you hold 90% of it, and in like low risk sort of stuff, and then 10% in the high risk stuff that, maybe you'll do some trading or you'll invest in a company or whatever it is, only risk 1% of that 10%. So mathematically, if you think about it this way, if you've got $100, right, and you're risking 1% of $100, then you're risking $1. If you lose that dollar, you've now got $99, right? And if you're risking 1% of 99, you're only risking 99 cents. You're not risking $1. Some people have rules where it's like, I'm always going to be, risking like a certain dollar amount or putting in this into a trade. Don't do it based on dollars, do it based on percentages. Because if you follow this logic, 1% of whatever you're whittling down is always going to be 1% of whatever you're whittling down. That means technically you're not going to lose money, right? Does that make sense? Even if it's down to like 1% of a dollar itself, the same maths applies.
Who's ever? I think a really good analogy as well. Who's ever been at a casino before and then lost a bet, and then think I'm going to chase that bet? Like, who can honestly say that I've done it? I'll say I've honestly done it. When you maybe you've lost a bet or you're down, and then you're trying to chase it, right? And to do that, you might have done $100 bet, another $100 bet, and you're like, I've lost them both. I'm going to bet now $300 to make that $100 back, and then you lose that as well. So it's all about capital preservation and minimizing your risk, guys, and that's what gives you the long-term wealth.
Exactly. And yeah, in terms of trading, if you follow certain risk mitigation principles, sometimes you can lose more trades than win, and you can still be in profit. So, in a case like this, 7 trades where 4 of them are losing those percentages, but then you're winning more in the other ones, well, then you've made a 10% profit, even though, overall you've had more losing trades.
And when you understand that, guys, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
That's the game changer.
Actually, I'll go back to that, because it really does help, like, especially for those people who are like, they're new to the market. And, whether you're investing in trading or investing in an IPO or an ICO or anything like that, if you get a loss on your first round, for some people that burns them already, and they're like, oh, that's it, this is a scam. But then, if you actually have rules in place, which I'll talk about later, then you look at things with a wider perspective over a course of time, regardless of the ups and downs in between. So protocol number 4 is others ahead. So the way that I think about this is to basically find mentors that match your momentum. So what I mean by that is, most high performance athletes have a coach, or if you're learning something, you've got a teacher, right? So find others that have forged a path ahead already and learn from them. And eventually, you might outgrow those coaches, you might outgrow those teachers. But the point is, to find someone who's gone ahead of you that can show you sort of the ropes, because there's no point trying to reinvent the wheel, right? You'll just be, going it the long way, the hard way. So, Bruce Lee said it best: absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. Also, find coaches and resources that meet you where you're at, so they can guide you to where they've already been, right? A lot of people are like, make $1 million here and whatever, 4,000% returns. And like, how do I even start that when I've only got like $100 in my account, or, I can't even contemplate 1%. Well, find the coaches that'll go, well, okay, let's make you your first 5%. Let's make you your first 10. And then from there, things will grow. Because at the end of the day, it's all just maths, right?
It's really important to block out the noise as well, guys. So that people who are really new to crypto, or may have only just done a little bit or dabbled in it a couple of years ago and now coming back to it, it's really important to block out the noise, because there's so much noise, and really latch on to communities and people that you trust and that you are comfortable with, right? And that's what we're trying to obviously create at Crypto Collective. And really link in with the mentors that match where you want to go. Yeah,
exactly. The other thing I also like to keep in mind on that note with community is, others ahead, in the sense of, how can you help and serve other people around you? It'll help improve your world, because, a rising tide raises all ships, or a rising tide lifts all boats, as John F. Kennedy said. So, which is exactly why we're doing the Facebook group, and, trying to like find out where are people at. Not everyone is ready to trade. Not everyone is ready to, invest $1 million in DeFi or whatever it is. But, we'll find out where people are at, and then go, okay, well, we've been in these spaces. Let's all meet you there, So protocol number 5, ride the wave. So, you're never too wise. Elephants are said to remember things 50 to 60 years in the past. And so what I mean by putting this picture up is like, you consume a lot of knowledge, you consume a lot of education, but still remain nimble on your feet. I don't know if any of you have ever seen or ridden with elephants or anything like that, but for as big as they are, they move pretty damn quick, and, they can balance on surfboards. According to this photo anyway. I'm not sure if it's real or not. But, you ride the wave, going back to the long ass life story. It's like things go up and down, but if you ride the wave, you stay on the board, everything's just cool. Like, be happy that you're on the water in the first place. You're in the market, you're in the game, you're trading up and down, and you just, zen.
It's long term, guys.
Yeah,
that's the big thing here, right? A lot of people have got rich really quickly, and they've lost it just as fast. So if you're thinking long term in this game and have that that same vision that Kev had back in 2012, and I wish I actually did that, because I heard of Bitcoin back in 2012 and didn't buy it. But if you got that long term vision, you will always succeed in the end if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, because markets go up and down, but your morals and that never change, right? And that's why, Kev talked about before, it's about rising with the people around you and surrounding yourself with people who want to get to the same areas as you as well.
Exactly. Roscoe's Build a Future group, like it says it in the title, Build a Future. It caught my eye. I'm like, I do want to build a future that's different from whatever else has happened in the past. And through that, I met like-minded people like Troy and a couple of the other people. So just remember, that, and then also, the trend is your friend. There's this saying with the waves, with trading, the trend is your friend. Follow the trend. Don't go against it. It's the same thing as surfing, right? If you go against a big wave, it's likely to crash and hurt you. So always be learning. and be teachable, because you don't know what you don't know, right? It took me a while to like let that sentiment sink in, but yeah, nobody has all the answers, or the silver bullet to whatever condition you might be going through, whatever circumstances you might be in. So yeah, remain open, remain teachable, and don't let your ego get the better of you. Even if you make $1 million or make $1, it's like it's just money. It's just maths. Money is a tool to use for other things in life, like for moving energy around your life in a better way. So stay humble and stay upright on the board. So 5 principal protection protocols again: allocate your assets, remove temptation, minimize your risk, others ahead, and ride the wave. So I try to remember that as armor. So 3 ways to invest. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes, right? There are many ways to invest in cryptocurrencies, but these are the main 3. So at the very basic level is buying and hodling. So some of you may or may not know that term, hodl, but it's hold on for dear life, or just basically hold your coins, or be like a squirrel and gather. So that is really as simple as buying Bitcoin somewhere and then just storing it in a wallet, in a digital wallet. You can get a hardware wallet like this, and there's tons of devices now. There's different exchanges and banks. Sorry, not banks, but like not the top 5 bank kind of banks, but like privatized banks where you can store things. You just wait for the prices to appreciate. So again, I cover that in the website, or Troy's got his website as well, for those of you who've been introduced through Troy. Have a look on there. There's like the first page says it there. You click on a couple of links to put Bitcoin in your wallet, or Ethereum, or whatever crypto you want to buy, and you can just set and forget. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of people in this group who probably did that in 2017 or maybe even earlier, and they've just had their coins sitting there doing nothing, or not doing nothing. They're sitting there, they're not trading them, but then the value has either appreciated or depreciated over time, depending on what it is you bought. That's hodling. The second way,
we won't go right into depth with this one because it's super confusing, but yeah. You go, Kev.
Yeah. That's why I put it at the top so I can get it out of the way. Decentralized finance, or DeFi. A lot of you might have been hearing about it as like another evolution of crypto, but basically it's just the people against the banks, or the people against governments and whatever. So now anyone entrepreneurial enough can create a decentralized system for anyone can create a decentralized system using blockchain technology, which is what Bitcoin is built out of, to then send and receive assets and do it all digitally, and
essentially like creating your own bank in a way.
Pretty much. It's a pretty epic
thing. It's a pretty epic thing. But there's a reason why, guys, we've only listed 3 ways to do crypto. It's because we believe that these 3 ways are 3 ways that you keep your coins. You don't send them somewhere and because I think some of us on this call could all agree that we've at some point send our coin to some magical company who said they're going to increase our Bitcoin and send it back. And then that magical company disappears into magic. So these are why we only recommend the 3 things that we're going to put up.
So DeFi, like you can see that it's built on Ethereum, so it's not built on Bitcoin, just like a different technology. But basically, like you see in the photo there, it's like that little kid playing with Lego blocks. You can do that as well in a technological sense and spread crypto around the world. So if you really want to dig into it, there's 2 groups. One that Roscoe's in, which is joined DeFi Nation. And then there's another one called DeFi Pulse, which is, I recommend, for those of you who are just beginning, maybe don't go into DeFi Pulse first, like Bitcoin stuff first.
I'd recommend against that.
But if you're already somewhat knowledgeable about crypto for the last 3 years or longer, then go on DeFi Pulse. They have this list that you can see what new technology is out, what's happening. Basically, think about it like a lending. Being able to be your own bank, like Troy said, and being able to lend people money by staking your coins somewhere, and they just sit there and accrue interest. But in the meantime, other people are borrowing from that, and they're insured. That probably won't make sense to some of the beginners, but yeah. The reason I put it here though is like, okay, today there was a coin, Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, some people call it. It's a Defy coin, and basically that was listed on July 18 at $32, and last night it rallied to 12,800. It didn't do it like just last night. It went up to 5,000, 3,000, 11,000, 8,000. But same sort of thing that you've seen on those curves, $32, 12,800, do the maths. It's
Just don't think that always happens, guys. We need to really be clear on that, right? But what we're saying is that DeFi is exploding, and it's going to be massive in the crypto space. But yeah, just what we're saying is true, but don't think that that's just a normal everyday occurrence, because it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Like these things kind of, go straight up and then they usually come straight back down. But then when there's a use for it, then it starts, moving.
Solid, yeah. And there's DeFi, there's definitely going to be a use, right? You'll hear about it. This isn't just a fly-by-the-night thing. It's going to be a massive, massive thing, and it's going to change the world, I believe. Just understand that it's quite volatile at the moment because it is only new with certain things like this.
So if you're a beginner, don't look into it.
I suggest against it unless you've done massive research.
Yeah, exactly. Just remember there's like 7,500 plus different assets to trade. So don't FOMO in on something just because Joe Blogs down the street said this one's going to hit the moon. Now next part of meat and potatoes is trading. So which I think some of you are in here for that particularly. So the reason we think trading is the ultimate sort of earning advantage is you don't have a boss. In crypto particularly, the markets are open 24/7. So it can work around your schedule. Unlike other markets like the New York Stock Exchange or London or whatever, you got to wake up at certain times to trade, Forex or whatever. Crypto 24/7. If you want to do it in your lunch break, on the toilet, after the kids are asleep, whatever, it's possible. And you don't need a whole bunch of capital to start. $50, $100, 1,000, whatever it is. You can start trading because you can trade like little increments, and all you need is an internet and computer. It helps you also with your financial literacy. Definitely helped me. Like, my history was a drummer, and now I'm more financially literate. It's increased my self-awareness as well in terms of the psychological sort of skills that I've learned from trading, and it's also increased structure and discipline, not only in my wealth but in my life as well. I'm a little bit less like, I've got to do everything, and it's like, flowy zen kind of vibe. And I also believe, like a lot of people, crypto will save the world from further financial oppression. You just have to look at the governments now and what they're doing, taking people's money and homes, and blockchain technology is giving the power back to the people to do that. So to get into trading, there's 5 tools. So there's a trading platform and charts, a laptop and computer, trading journal and spreadsheet, risk capital or crypto to put in, and trading plan and strategies. So I'll go through these real quickly. So trading platform and charts, there's a platform you can use called TradingView, and it basically links up to all these different exchanges and different coin pairs, and it shows the market moving up and down. And you can get a free trial to that. It's open to the public. There's no cost to jump in, but then there is a cost for, like, if you want certain indicators and all this other stuff which is on the platform. And then you need to register for an actual trading platform where you do your buys and your sells, right? So the main two that we use is Binance and BitMEX. On Binance, you have access to thousands of different assets that you can trade. But there's also FTX, which also includes Forex. And then Bittrex used to be kind of like the granddaddy of the trading circles. So they do have a lot of assets on there, but they've kind of like lost popularity, I guess.
For beginners, guys, we definitely suggest Binance and BitMEX.
Yeah,
just so we're clear on that. We're just showing you other ones, but as beginners, which majority of you guys would be, they're the two that you want to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, I think at this point, there's 78 different exchanges or something on the market that you can get on. So these are the ones that are, easy to get on. Laptop, computer, obviously would be necessary for this, or even like a tablet, just something to be able to view the charts and make your trades. I actually have a lot of apps on my phone as well that I might do my analysis on the laptop or the iPad, and then when I'm out and about, I set alerts to my phone, and I'm like, oh, okay, this coin's going up or down or whatever. I could put my trades in on there. So that's a necessity. And then a trading journal and spreadsheet. So this is like super, super, super important. If you don't measure what you're doing, then you'll never know what you're actually doing, like whether you're successful or failing or not. So there's two ways you can go about it. The long way, which I suggest people to start with, is have a spreadsheet where you track your entries. It's like, oh, today I bought Bitcoin at this price, and I plan on exiting at this price. And then there's a couple of other things you put in your journal, like how you're feeling, and don't rush into a trade, and all these other things. Keep track of it. If you don't measure it, it's not worth putting in there. The other way is to sign up to an automated trading journal where it tracks your trades for you, but you still have to do the manual input, to put in certain conditions. Like there's a whole bunch of different things that some people have, little quirks, like, oh, I have to meditate 20 minutes before I trade. Other people are like, I only do, fast trades, and I have Red Bull and coffee.
About having rules, guys.
Yeah. I wouldn't
create your own rules.
And then you need risk capital, obviously, investment, you got to put money in. But like I said, you don't need a lot. Or you can put fiat currency or crypto. And then you need a trading plan and strategy. So again, going back to what I was talking about before, some people have checklists where it's like, okay, am I feeling good today? Have I done my daily meditation? Okay, have I scanned the market? Have I read the news reports? Have I done X, Y, Z, so that I'm sure that I can place this trade? Are they within my rules? These are all the sorts of things that you set in place. It's like if you're an athlete or something like that, like high performance. You do your warm-ups first. You make sure you've got the right equipment, the right supplements, the right food, and all that sort of thing, so that you can perform not only physically but mentally as well, before you trade and after as well. Also use it to keep track of your mentality when you win or lose. If you made a mistake, how do you turn that around? If you're winning, how do you keep that going? So how do you get started? I'll try and run through this quickly as well. So the top three. Sorry?
No, I was just going to say, Kev, so we're about to kick into some real good stuff here with, and we're going to run through some patterns, some candles, some things you guys to look out for, some people, so you guys can kind of, get on your way and potentially going pretty good. And we may go a little bit over time because we did kind of go into detail at the beginning, but is everyone finding they're getting some good value so far? Be awesome. Yeah, I'm getting a few nods, which is cool. Got a couple of thumbs up, so that's good, guys. Thank you. Look, and we'll keep going, and we may go a little over the time, but so thanks for the thumbs up, guys. We're about to kick into some really good stuff, so make sure you're watching where we're going through.
Yeah.
Go, mate.
By the end of this, you'll know at least how to trade, but I'll go through. So first thing is, you need to buy into the market. You need to buy some Bitcoin. So the top three that you see there are the easiest to do, depending on your location, because I know we've got some people in Australia, some in Thailand, the US, whatever. But they also have the highest rates. Usually what you'll find with these exchanges is that the easier they are, the more they charge you in fees, but it's still not going to be as bad as a bank. But just, keep that in mind. The bottom four there, I put that in there as well because, again, depending on your location, like some things are easier to buy into than others. The lowest rates that I've actually found have been on independent reserve, but that's mostly I think it's only open for Australians, and you have to go through what's called KYC, which is know your customer. So you send your passport or your bills or whatever it is, so that they know your financial status and all that sort of thing. So if you're one of those people that like wants to keep everything above board and believes in the government system and whatnot, and wants to get the cheapest rate, then you could go with them. But yeah, I don't really believe as much in those systems anymore, but I just put that in there as an option. Anyway, you can also buy on Binance now, which is just introduced in the last couple of months.
The Australians on here, they now have that Australian dollar exchange, which is good. So you can put literally, yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's so many. You can go to I haven't got this in the slides, but cryptocompare.com, and they've got a whole list of things there. But like I said, these ones I've tried them, tested them. I'm in all of them, and I've done the research. You can also so once you buy in, then you get your platforms to trade, which I already mentioned, Binance and BitMEX. The main differences is Binance, like I said, has a whole spread of thousands of things you can trade. BitMEX only has a small amount, not small amount in dollars, but like it's only like Bitcoin or Ethereum sort of pairs of coins. Also, the fee structure in Binance is 0.1%, and it's calculated hourly. But if you hold Binance coin, so some people I suggest buy Binance coin. If you hold that in your account, you get a 25% discount for whenever you trade. Whereas BitMEX's fees is per trade, and the fees are like 0.025 or 0.075. So it's really not a lot, especially once you see how much you can make with the trades. FTX, I put that in there because, like I said, you can trade Forex as well on there. And it's the new kid on the block because it's made by traders for traders, But if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're advanced, I'd say jump into that one as well if you want. And then Bittrex is like, there's still some coins on there that I keep, but and then what you want to do is be able to track all these. So get onto TradingView and link them up. You can go through all the settings and tutorials and whatever to link those to your exchanges. So then your charts are aligned and whatnot. And then for the advanced people, you can automate all this as well. You can join 3 commas, and basically what it is a platform that just connects to all your different exchanges, all your wallets, whatever you want to put into it. And say you want to buy Bitcoin at a certain price and put your trade in, you can automate it to go, okay, send it to all my different accounts. Like for beginners, you'll probably only have the one account and the one wallet, which I recommend to start off with so you get familiar with it. But I know some people are on this call as well, like myself, who've got like 60 coins and different exchanges everywhere. So 3 commas really helps. And it also has bots. So again, for the advanced guys and girls out there, you can create trading bots that basically make money while you sleep. It's really attractive.
Let's not go into that.
I won't go into it, but yeah, just so you know that it's there. So for the beginners, you might want to move into that later.
You're advanced.
And the other thing that we also do is Huddlebot, which is basically on the topic of bots. We set this bot to attach to your account if you're not doing anything. So a lot of those people that have just sat on their coins and not done anything, if you're in that space where you're not sure whether you should trade yet, but you're not doing anything with your coins, you might as well put it in something like Huddlebot, which will keep your like index portfolio earning over time anyway. Okay, and then Coinly as well is another thing that you can use to track all your trades and also print out reports for tax, all that sort of thing. Okay, so those ones there with the little lightning bolts, if you sign up to those using the links that Troy and I have on our pages, you get $50 for signing up with crypto.com, or you get $10 from Coinbase, and so on and so forth, like whatever you see there. So even for those people who don't have a lot to start off with, if you jump on these ones, then you can have maybe a little bit to start trading, or at least get into crypto. So some cool little offers there. So when we're trading, what are we actually looking for? There's a whole bunch of stuff, but in simplicity, we look for pattern recognition to identify potential trades. And then when you spot a probable trade, you run it through your trade plan. and see if it fits your rules. And then you size the risk and the reward of the trade position. So, you know, always make sure that you're making more than you're putting in, you know, and that you're risking. And then of course, you got to enter the trade. You got to pull the trigger, enter the trade, and then you exit the trade based on your trade plan. And you stick with that. And then you update your trade journal with the lessons that you've learned. Sometimes you might be like, oh, I should have stayed in the trade longer because I could have made more money. Or it's like, I should have got out of that earlier because I lost more. And then you repeat the process, and then slowly you get to like your zone that you trade in. So you would have seen these. So this is again more for the beginner side of things. If you're getting into trading, candles, you know, you see them on charts, and basically the way to understand it is green goes up, red goes down. And when a candle starts, so I'll start with the green first. When you see a candle like this, that means the market opened at this price, or the asset opened at this price on the market. And then over time, because a candle represents a unit of time, the market went up and the price went up, and that was the high for that time period. And then at some point it also went down here. So it bounced up and down and then ended up closing at this point. And likewise on the red candle, it goes the other way, it's going down. So the market price opened here, and then it might have gone up a bit and then gone down, might have gone down all the way here, but then it closed again at this level. You can read up more on that again on Google. And so those candles make up these patterns. And I won't go into too much detail with this, but there's a whole bunch of patterns that can indicate that the market's going to keep going up, or the market's going to keep going down, or it's going to move sideways and whatnot. So the 3 steps of trading: you identify support and resistance, you establish market structure in the trend, and then you identify patterns. Seems simple enough, and I'll try to simplify it in here. So identifying support and resistance. When you see candles going up and down like this, right? At first, you're like, what the hell is that? But the way to understand it is this is the price. So we're looking at Ethereum right now, right? Ethereum and US dollars. The current price in the market is $214.95. So just keep that in mind. And down the bottom here, you have the date. So this is the time period. And this is the day chart, the daily chart. So basically these candles indicate that in one day, Ethereum went from up here, it opened at this price, and then went all the way down here. And then the following day, it went from here and went up here and then ended up here. Can everyone see that? Right? And resistance is basically, where is it hitting like an upper wall? You've got like support and resistance, where when something's hitting resistance, it's like it can't break through, right? It's resisting going up higher. And likewise, if it's bouncing off the bottom, that means you're being supported. So there's more buyers coming into the market to drive the price up. Whereas when you're hitting resistance, there's more sellers trying to, sell their stock basically, or their crypto to keep the market going down. Can anyone type in the chat box if they like understand, or thumbs up or whatever, if you're getting that so far? But
yeah,
anyway,
so support, guys, think of it like the price is being supported, right? So it's underneath it, and resistance, it's trying to push through. So it's resisting it.
Exactly, yeah.
And a couple of thumbs up, which is, so yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, what I do is I draw, sometimes when it's a chart like this, where it's clear to see like the price isn't going above that 214, like it might have wicked up, but then it's gone back down. And you can see these, these touch points here where it's tried to break through. So that to me is a clear indicator that it's a point of resistance, right? It's a level of resistance, sorry. And then I draw support. So I can also see, okay, when it first got rejected here at the resistance, it went back down here, but then it came back up, then it went back down, went even further, and then actually came back up again and was supported here. So over here, it actually broke support, but then broke through resistance again. So sometimes that happens in the market, but you basically look for areas where there's a lot of touch points or a lot of data happening on a certain level. You can also see here, if you look left, which is one of the lessons to always keep in mind, look left, there was some price activity here where the market kind of went, oh, what are we doing? Okay, we're going to go down. Or sometimes we go, oh, what are we doing? Okay, we're going to go up. Right?
This is what we talk about, guys, how history repeats itself. Remember I mentioned that earlier in the webinar?
Yeah.
And you'll see this. If we could look left and keep going back and back and back in time, you'll find that at that $200 mark, that's not, there's a reason why, because it's a round number as well. There's a lot of price resistance and support happening at that mark. And if you went back in time, you'll find Ethereum has that.
Yeah.
So these are the things that are quickly easy to identify.
Yeah, there's psychological levels basically where people go, okay, Ethereum's too high at $200, but I'd buy it at $150. Or yeah. So anyway, and then what I do is draw the trend, right? So the trend line, there's up and down. That's pretty much it. So this is clearly going up, and you draw a trend line from the bottom of the candle, so you can see that it's being supported, going up, and who can already see that there's a pattern here, right? And there's a shape. There's things going up and down. It doesn't make sense yet, but there's definitely patterns and shapes emerging from here. So once you identify the trend, you then go through market structure. Now, each time these points are reached where it's like a high level and then a low level and a high level, they're basically called higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs or lower lows. So what I mean by that is over here, this point here is higher than, like, the price that it reached here is higher than here. It's kind of hard to tell initially because the market's moving slow, but that's a higher high. And then the next
because we're looking at the solid candles, remember, guys, not the wicks. So don't worry about
not the wicks, but the candles.
Yeah.
And then this low point here, this level is a higher low than where it was here or over here. So this was a low, higher high, higher low. Can anyone think what's coming up next? Up here, that would be another higher high. And then again, a higher low. It just
and look at it bounce off that trend line, guys. Look at it bounce off.
So that means there's more buyers going, no, we're going to keep pushing the price up, right? And then little bit of movement here. Technically, that is a higher high because it is higher, but it never went back to the trend line. So you would consider this as one strong move going up. Hit a higher high and hit resistance. Lo and behold, came back. It hit the higher low because this is still there. But look at the wicks again. They're called wicks on the candle where there's people pushing it up. And what I look for when I get, so this is getting into the trading side of things now. When I get to this point, I look at, okay, look, it rejected over here. So that means the market is kind of wanting to push it up. It rejected over here. So that now there's people going, okay, the price is a little bit too high. And then even though it's sold, some people would have taken profit here. They would have sold and gone, hey, I had my eye on Ethereum being $200, but it's gone up to 214. I'm going to sell some of it. So that puts the market down. But then back here, people are like, nah, we want to sell our, Ethereum at $300 or 400, whatever it is. So they buy more. They buy more and then it pushes the market back up. And then over here, because we've, hit support again, and then we're hitting resistance, and now you've got all these green candles. What I would then do is, me personally, again, this isn't, financial advice or trading advice, but it's what I do. Sometimes in this scenario, I start looking, okay, what's going to happen around this area, right? Is this candle going to break through? Is it going to go back up and be in a bull run? Or is it going to come back down and hit support again? Or is it going to possibly break the trend and go down here? Now, I've got a couple of little bits of data that can tell me that, well, this is actually a pretty strong move up because, twice it's hit the support here. And these are all green candles, three sort of strong soldiers that are wanting to push through. So I observe that part. So this is now moving forward in time. So you can see it hit resistance there again and then bounced here. But then look over here. It doesn't even, bother touching the trend line. It's like it's maintaining support. So this is what is, it's sort of called consolidation. If you look in the smaller charts, like 4-hour and 1-hour charts where there's more candles, you'll see things starting to consolidate here. So in my case, what I do is I assess the potential risk and reward, right? I think, okay, if it breaks down here and then goes down, that's one way that it could go, or it could continue moving sideways in this channel, highly unlikely for me, or it could break through and then come up here and break through this resistance because it's strong activity. So if you were 50-50 on it, what you would probably do is put an order here to buy more, to really make sure that it's broken through, that resistance level.
Whereas, just waiting for a confirmation, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So you see how like a story starts getting told here. You see how a story is being told, and all we're waiting for now is just a confirmation. Is it going up? If it does it break through and hold, or does it go back down and hold?
Yeah.
And then the probability, if it breaks that trend line and goes down, the probability, right, it's a much higher probability it's going to drop because the trend is your friend, remember, right? We're talking, this is like over the space of 35 days, right? So this is a really solid trend that's happening here. So you see the last 35 days has got us to this point that's telling us this story that if that confirmation goes up, there's a very good chance it's going to continue to go.
Exactly. And as Troy mentioned before, remember, look left. What can you see over here? The price was actually up here before in the past. Yeah. So there's no reason why this can't go up. We're not going into uncharted territory. We've been there before, you know? So in my case anyway, I put a trade in because I was being a bit like, yeah, this is going to break through. Normally what we'd recommend is to put a trade in here, but
wait for the confirmation. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can see there was a 21.5%, 58% gain in that. And there was some risk, you know, I won't go into like stop losses and placing those things because that's a little bit more technical, but you know, if things went bad, if I made the wrong call, what would have happened in this area is that my trade would have stopped here and I would have only risked, you know, this amount of whatever I put into the trade, but instead went up and, you know, made that small gain. Well, not small because like 21.58% is, you know, way better than.
If you've got that on 10x leverage, which is another amazing thing that you guys will learn about, you would have made a 200% gain.
Yeah. So that was that candle over here, that run. If you see here, there's three big ones. That was on the 27th of May. Oh, sorry, when that was recorded. And then over here, so what then happened is we hit another point of resistance. See here, look left. From that trade going up, we hit another point of resistance, and then it went back down. But then over here, it formed market structure still, right? There was another higher high. This is the higher low of this one. Again. Sorry?
Bounced off that trend line again.
Yeah, bounced off the trend line. But then look over here, it created a lower high because, again, what's happening here, hitting the resistance, we're hitting resistance here. But you can see it's a little bit lower, right? So like what the story that says is, okay, there's more people selling now because they've seen it run up and they're like, okay, we better cash out of the market. And then eventually it breaks the trend here. So at this point, any move forward from here is what's called invalidated. You wouldn't really look to trade there unless there's some drastic move and it goes back on the trend, right? So now it's created new market structure and broken through. So you could even get rid of this black line and go, okay, there's now a little bit of a downtrend happening here. Let's watch the market again, right? So that's the basics of it, really. So on the left-hand side there, right, you can see that that's a chart that we just went through. That was Ethereum, right? On the right here, what can you see? It's pretty much a very similar chart, but this one's in Bitcoins. This is a totally different trading pair. But you've got over here, you've got your trend, you've got your support and resistance, right? You've got your higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher low, so on and so forth. You know, you could have put the same trade in here to catch this candle or whatever, and then it broke through again, and same thing, changed market structure, lower low, lower high, and you can see the downtrend happening there, right? So is this making sense so far to people? Like you can notice the similarities, right? Like I'm not just seeing things.
And when we blow this out, guys, and you see this on a big scale, you just keep scanning left and right. This thing, history repeats itself, guys. Like exactly. Literally. And this is why traders say that their computers are ATMs, right? Because they're literally just reading history and just placing the high probability bets and the trades that they're going to happen again, right? So if history keeps repeating itself, then there's a really high probability that these trades are going to play out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So over here, as Troy said, history repeating itself. I'm looking here and looking for that break in the trend or break in support or break in resistance. But in this case, break in the trend. Over here, I see, okay, there's another break because, I mean, it's happened before, right? So there's another trade there that I was able to enter. And then again, the same thing happened. There's support and resistance bouncing up and down. And then there's another trade up there that I like. This was literally yesterday. I think you can see the date there. While I was at dinner, I didn't even make that trade. My bot did it for me. But the point of what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, history repeats itself. There's patterns that you can see, and those patterns can be spread across so many different coin pairs. You don't always have to trade Bitcoin. You can trade all these other things. You can find a coin that you really like or a project that you believe in with blockchain and trade these charts, you know. And the same thing applies when it's going down. So to illustrate what I mean, right, this little move here that happened last night at dinner, over here you can see it was bouncing up and down in this channel, right? It broke through here. So I put in the trade there, made 4.29%, not too bad. And then I saw, okay, there's a trend here, and then it broke through around here, the support and resistance there. And I put what's called a short, right? And I put a trade in through there and made 2.43% because I already knew, okay, if it's broken there, there's a high likelihood that it could go through to the previous support or previous resistance and bounce back. And so like this trade, I think these are, actually, I'm not going to say what charts they are on because you're not supposed to go on those, but this was a very, very quick trade to make, you know, I think it was like 7 point something percent.
As if we got any hodlers on the call, we've probably got a few maybe, but like how good would it be to make more crypto whether the market's going up, down or sideways? So in that recent massive bear run that we had, traders kept winning because as the market was going up, they're winning. As it's going sideways, they're winning in channels. As it's going down, they're shorting the market. This is what we're talking about, guys. It's an unfair advantage that traders have.
Exactly. Yeah. It's this thing where if you're sitting on the sidelines and listening to the news and it's like, oh, Bitcoin went up to 12,000. No, now it's down to 10,000. Oh, it's gone up to 14,000. Whatever it is, if you're not,
we're just like this. That's just money getting made as a trader, right?
Exactly. Like I love the volatility of it because if things are just moving in small increments, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting 0.4% here or 2% here. But when it makes these big moves, it's like, great. Like if I know that, you know, I've got my tools in place, I've got my trading plan, I've got my rules, everything set. It's just a matter of waiting for these small little things to happen and then go, okay, I'm like 100% sure or 90% sure, whatever it is in your trading rules to go, this is going to move this way. And I'm just going to apply what I've learned and applied what I've seen in other things before. So again, going back to pattern recognition. So, you know, it's called, there's a Beta-Meinhof or Beta-Meinhof phenomenon or frequency bias. That's what it is. You know how when you think, okay, I'm going to buy a red car, or red sports car or whatever. And then all of a sudden you start seeing that on the street, you see the same model car or you know, I'm going to get this particular shirt or pair of pants or pair of shoes. And because that's now in your periphery, you're like, you see it all the time. Has anyone ever experienced that? Like, you know, noticing something new, then suddenly you're just aware of it everywhere. And that's what starts to happen when you're doing this, you know, trading thing. Like it's almost like, you know, being back in kindergarten, just going circle, square, rectangle, cube, like how do these all fit into the charts? And you can see there's a whole bunch of different shapes and patterns that once you recognize them, whether the market's going up or down, you can just apply these patterns and then you can, you know, make some money, make some income.
All these patterns tell a story. They all tell a story to a trader. And you start to, as Kev said, you start to tell and you can understand why it's happening and the highest probability of what's going to happen when it does.
Exactly. Yeah. I see them as like, you know, the big scary trading market that once, oh, this is, yeah, just like little patterns here and there, you know, building blocks, basically. It's just like kindergarten, or like a Rubik's Cube. For anyone out there who has never attempted to solve a Rubik's Cube, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but look online and figure out how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I never looked into it before, but now I can solve a Rubik's Cube in like 1 to 2 minutes, sometimes less. And it's all about pattern recognition and you can learn algorithms and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it really helps just instead of thinking of candles and charts and whatever else, you're just going, oh, there's a shape there. There's a shape there. That might be useful for certain musos like that are on this call as well, since I'm, you know, in the musical creative community. Like sometimes you don't learn mathematically and go, oh, chord 1, 4, 5, 6 or whatever. It's like, oh, this shape and that shape on the guitar. For those people that recognize patterns, like you're going to do really well in this. There can be complicated things like that, but essentially the main part of this is that 75% of the time the market moves in a particular order where there's a trading range, things are bouncing up and down, and then there's a breakout, either it breaks out up or down, and then it forms another channel or another trading range, and the cycle just repeats, whether the market up or down, right? We weren't taught this stuff in school because, like, frankly speaking, schools were invented as factories for employees, not to make financially independent people. So I don't want to get into conspiracy theory and crap like that.
Let's not do that on this call. We'll do another webinar on conspiracy.
Yeah. So anyway, how can you upgrade your game? Because obviously, like, literally what we've just shown you now, you could go out into the market and make money with that already. But you could go it alone. But you might go through some pitfalls and things like that and end up losing your money. So, how do you upgrade your game? You can upgrade the quality of your learning materials. You can upgrade your feedback loops, upgrade your environment, set yourself up for, winning, and then upgrade your commitment to it. So by studying and spending time with the community, and then also upgrading your mentors, which we spoke about before with coaches. So I want to present what Troy and I do with a company called MBA Trading. We're both independent business owners with MBA Trading. My history before with trading is I was already trading, like I said, over those years since 2013. But I was kind of all over the shop, and finding these guys, thanks to Troy, has helped me like really hone in on my skills. And I've had more wins now than I used to before. And discipline and all that sort of thing has improved. But the thing that I've gotten most out of it is that, one, the resort now that's been, essentially closed since March, I've been able to keep it afloat from trading. Still paying staff. We've still got expenses to cover. There's, bills to pay. Electricity's got to keep running. There's a lot of maintenance. And I'd say, 80% of it, 80 to 90% has been through trading. And the other 10 has been like my web design and some other things that I do. So, the stuff I started doing with MBA Trading really helped make me like, focused on, okay, I need to put that in that bucket and just have that on autopilot and not get so stressed about, oh, how am I going to pay the staff this week and whatnot. Anyway, so on the left there, you've got Jason Griggs. So Jason used to be a financial planner, and his job was basically to help the rich get richer, right? And he figured out, okay, if they're doing these things and I'm managing their money, what if, I learn how to do it myself and obviously, help others do it. He's like a top bloke. Troy, maybe you can continue.
So
these guys.
So Jason, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. So these guys are really open and very transparent with what they do. You've got Mick on the other side, who was actually trained by Jason, and he's the other master trader there, and he does a lot of the kind of psychology side of it because he's ex-military, so he's very much on the psychology side. The guys who go down and understand this when it comes to trading is 80% psychology and 20% technical analysis. And then you've got Paul Trelaw in the middle. Now, Paul's he's one of a very, very successful person in business. This is a guy who has rubbed shoulders with the best in the world, and he adds a personal development side to the business as well. Look, we're going to show you a few more slides now, guys, on what you get and the value you get with it. We could go into the whole sales pitchy thingy. We don't have to sell this to you guys because the product is that good that it sells itself. But basically, we just want to kind of show you guys what the kind of value is and what we've got from it. And if you guys want to join us on the journey with it and continue on, then awesome. But at the same time, that's totally fine as well. But look, we're glad you guys are on and hope you get some value out of it with this. So we'll show you a few more slides now on it.
Yep. With the Trading Academy, what you get is over 20 hours of foundational technical analysis training videos. So these are pre-recorded videos that basically show you how to trade from scratch. There's a back office area where you basically just watch these videos at any time you want, and they're available there 24/7. On top of that, you get the access to the School of Sparta Live, which are these live trading calls that happen, I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
How crazy are the trading calls?
A couple in between. There's also, there's Zoom calls here where they go through market analysis and things like that. There's also technical analysis reviews, every Friday where they go through, chart review. So as a student, you can go, okay, this is what I think is happening in the market, hand it in, you get some feedback from the coaches as well and from other people. There's a School of Sparta Discord channel. So for those of you who are familiar with Discord, it's like another sort of separated chat group where you can put files in there and a whole bunch of different tools. I've found so much value out of this because there's like PDFs and books and videos and all these things that some of them don't even have anything to do with trading. They're like personal development and fitness and all that sort of thing. And I've definitely got my money's worth out of just looking in this channel. And people sometimes put out calls and things like that as well there. And then there's a School of Sparta Facebook, which is the Facebook group where, everyone interacts basically. And there's even more lessons and videos and things that are posted on the group. There's also SOS 45, which is basically a mental and physical toughness challenge that's run pretty much every week. And there's different challenges that they place like that help improve your mental capacity or your fitness, and more on the personal and performance development side so that you can trade more effectively. And then you also get access to all the future courses, the live online courses and training materials. So that the value of that is priceless because even just being able to get in on the live sessions and the calls, like say you can't make it on a Monday night call, but Tuesday morning you've got free, then you can watch the video there of what happened on Monday. And someone might say, yeah, it looks like the market's turning up on Bitcoin, or maybe it's turning down. This is where I'd look to enter a trade and all that sort of thing. Then you can jump on those trades as well. And there are a lot of students that have done that and, made a mint basically from...
well, the calls are done by the master trader, right? So a lot of the time it's Jason and Mick and the other traders who are doing the calls. So they're literally charting all the things that they're looking at, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. It'd be the same thing as us, doing regular calls to show what we're doing. But in this case, Troy and I don't really have time to do that sort of thing.
Well, in this case, it's like people who are even much more competent at trading than us. Like we're talking guys who time for a living, day in, day out, right? These guys are the real deal. This is something else they do. This is obviously pre-COVID, but they're going to be starting it up again, which is you get priority access to all their future in-person events. So they do seminars, international retreats, all that kind of thing.
Which I'm personally invested in myself because I want a retreat to happen here in Thailand, right? And I'd love to see so many people come over here. I mean, it's a 3-year project, and so it'd be great to share the wins here. And then on top of that as well, for some people who see the business side of things and want to share it with people, there's also business training on how to grow your business, which is basically like sharing the education materials, which is what Troy and I are doing now. So,
so basically from this point, like we're going to show you what we got here, but I thought it'd be really good, like if you guys actually heard firsthand from a student who actually started up, that was in the Crypto Collective group, and it looks like he might have someone a little visitor with him now, but he's in the Crypto Collective group, and he's someone that we've known for quite a while, who's just started up on it, right? So we've got a couple of people on the call at the moment. So Greg, if you do have your hands full there with the bub, that's all fine. We do have a couple of other people on the call who are doing the course as well. But he's giving us the thumbs up. You good, Greg?
We'll see how we go. We're just trying to calm a screaming baby, but that's all.
We just wanted to get someone who is in the Crypto Collective group and been a mate of Kev's for a while, and now a good mate of mine. When did you start, Greg? Was it about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
I think so. I think it's been 3 weeks. It feels like a bit longer than that.
Can you all see Greg? Yeah.
Can you give us the thumbs up, guys? Can you see Greg when he talks? talk again for us, Greg?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you can. Awesome. Sweet. So, Greg, I just wanted to quickly, mate, and we'll only take up a minute or two of your time, but we just wanted to hear from like someone who's just started. And I guess when you reached out and you spoke to me as well, is that you wanted to share the kind of value that you're getting from the course.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped into crypto 3 years ago, so I mean, traditionally I kind of FOMO'd in, which is not really recommended, but yeah, I kind of went in cowboy style, and in 6 weeks, my account went up to a lot of money. But taking profits here and there is an important thing to do, and I started a few years ago looking at candlesticks and charts and Fibonacci and all these other things, because I was like, oh yeah, I can get into this trading thing. At the time I had my hands very full with about 3 big things, so it kind of fell by the wayside. But in recent times, because I'm a musician, I run a wedding entertainment and functions business. That's basically, I'm having postponements for weddings and gigs every day pretty much for the end of this year and into next year. So sort of opened an idea to have a look at learning a skill and doing something with the cryptos that I've got. And so trading, I mean, it seemed logical to move into. But so far, 3 weeks in, got through sort of a lot of the juicy lessons into the psychology part of it now. But yeah, it's really, had I known a few years ago sort of about market structure and how to, look left and find realistic prices where, say, for example, Bitcoin would drop to, that would have been really handy, because it would have been like, okay, cool, I'm not just going to think just because it's dropped down $700, that now's the right time to buy more, or whatever I was doing at the time. Especially when Kev was saying, oh no, I've predicted it's probably going to go down another $3,000, and I was like, what? So that's,
we've all been there, mate. We've all been there.
Yeah. Look, I did take some profits along the way, but and I'm probably at break-even point now from where I started a few years ago. But the whole trading thing is, it's been eye-opening, because it's good too. I feel like I'm learning a valuable skill, and like I have a purpose with something new with trading. So psychology part of it's great as well. My partner and I were having dinner before, and she was listening to one of the psychology lessons and going, oh wow, I'm learning a lot from this lesson myself too. So, and that's not directly talking about candlesticks and stuff. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably driving Kev a bit crazy, because I'm throwing him these charts every day or two, which he's kind of picking apart, going, nah, you need to look out for these shapes and whatnot. And then there was one in there that I got right so far.
You've got a couple right. You actually picked Bitcoin's latest little pump. So Greg's actually underestimating and not you're not giving himself enough credit there, because he actually sent me a chart on Ripple as well that I was like, nah, dude, don't get that. That's rubbish, that coin. And literally it pumped through. So thankfully you didn't listen to me, because I'm very much a channel trader. I go between the two channels, but it pumped through. And so within the space of a month, Greg's picking up these basic things that, fingers crossed, like, and obviously Kevin and I have another separate group that we've set up that we're helping people like Greg and Shane. I think Shane's on the call as well. So people like that in the group where they're submitting charts, and we're helping them as well outside of the School Sparta community. But mate, look, really appreciate you coming on tonight, mate. It's really appreciated. Just thought it'd be great for you guys to hear from someone else in the crypto collective community who's jumped on board with it. So, Greg, appreciate your in between the baby there, mate. So thanks.
It's
Oh well,
it's all good. Thank you. It's all
awesome.
good.
Thanks.
If we share the screen again, we'll do a quick run over of what you get, and then we'll wrap it up. Do apologise, guys. I know we're 9 minutes over. Has everyone found like they got some value out of tonight though with what we've shown? Like, please tell me you guys are not just being nice by saying yes all the time and giving us a thumbs up, but awesome. I'm glad that you guys have. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll quickly run over here what you get, right? So the great thing is, right? So and once again, guys, like we're doing this for the community, right? Like, so Kev and I are in so many different projects that are lots of different things, and you know, crazy kind of business and money and all this kind of stuff. But we're really trying to embed and show people and really live by our values that you'll see on the page, which is the you know, learn, earn, trade, grow, give. And we really feel we're at that point where we can really start giving. And that's what we want to do, right? And this is why we're showing you guys this stuff. So, you know, you can join the supportive group of the 6,000 plus students. You got 3 live weekly market scans. You actually have 4 now. They've actually upped it to 4, which is epic. Hours of the recorded lessons, access to private trading communities. You got the one-on-one feedback with the homework. So there's constant community support via the Discord and Facebook channels, resources and value and add-ons. So they'd go outside of that. Like I said before, you've got like one of the world's best personal development coaches in Paul Trelaw that teaches you about personal development stuff as well.
Sorry to cut you off, Troy. He's a Tony Robbins Platinum member. And for those people who don't know, like, to be a Platinum member with Tony Robbins, it's like $85,000 US just to, you know, have a 1-year membership with him and you know, have.
But it's not just a matter of paying it either. Like, you've got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a matter of like a millionaire can go in and pay it. Like, you've got to be the real deal. Like, they don't just accept anyone's $85,000, right?
Yeah. And the other thing as well is, like, the thing that got me with this is like, oh man, this is a trading course and they're doing recipe packs, you know, to help people be healthier. They're doing mindset and meditation coaching and all this other stuff that really does help improve other areas of your lifestyle, to the point where, to me now, like, after being in it for a couple of months, the trading side is like the 10% of it, and the rest is like, there's so much more value in you know, the course and the community. So
psychology behind it.
Yeah. So all that, you know, now we come down to the end of it. Everything that we just listed, normally it's $3,997 US upfront and then $1,088 per month. But COVID and all that sort of thing, the price is actually $149 a month, and you can cancel anytime. And so it's really, really affordable to get all that value. And on top of that, Troy and I have basically come up with this offer because we want to share this. So for the first 5 people who sign up in the next 24 hours, we will personally send $50 USD to your trading account when you start trading. So basically what that means is, like, if you're, you know, ready to go and you want to trade, as soon as you do the course and you're like, okay, I'm ready to place my first trade, you give us a buzz and it's like, cool, we'll shoot $50 crypto to you so that you can start trading. Like, we're not just going to give you $50 and then go trade it without doing the course. But we really, like, we want to find people who want to do this, are serious about it. And like, I'm prepared to give, you know, my time towards it. So is Troy. And we really want to help people to be able to get into this and you know, be successful, and hopefully in a few months time, you know, be able to share a different story to whatever's happening in your life now because of.
Yeah. And like, we know that there's heaps of people in the community as well, right? So it is a creative community as well. So there's a lot of people in the music industry and other industries that are really suffering right now. And we feel that this is just a really good opportunity right now. It's kind of lined up with this potential run that's going to be happening in this market, right? Where you know, there's this massive opportunity to really capitalize on this, guys. And like what we've told you, history repeats itself. Like, we can't say that enough. If you guys jump on board, awesome. If you don't, we're still going to go ahead and do this, and we're still going to provide value. But history is just repeating itself again, and it happens time and time again in trading. So that's why we recommend it so much. So we've got personal setup call here. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of that, or we will put it up in the group, take a screenshot or write it down, or do what you have to do, and book in a session with us, and we'll go over in detail as well. We're not just going to just throw you out into the community and say good luck. We have our own personal group set up outside of Crypto Collective that Greg and Shane and a few of the other guys are in, that they can say that we're in as well, where we provide as much feedback as we can on all the different things that people are doing. But yeah, there's just so many opportunities. So like I said, we don't want to get all sales pitchy on you guys because we don't need to, right? The product sells itself. You've seen the amazing value. What we've shown you tonight is just a snippet, absolute snippet of what you're going to get. And you actually have access to all that information all the time, which is, as I said, we don't promote really any companies on the page. I mean, we've got the Huddlebot thing up there, and
a
couple other little things here and there. But these are the only actual company that we promote, and there's a reason behind it because we've been in it and we know what it is. We've personally done it. It's great that Greg and the other guys have been on it as well. So you can kind of, it's not like, the things that we've been burnt with in the past before. And, I'm sure you all agree that education is it'll serve you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
I know we've gone 15 minutes over time, guys. Did anyone have any questions? We've chatted a lot and we've talked a lot, and we've probably gone a little bit over time, as I said. So I really appreciate everyone staying on, and it's awesome that we've had so many people on. But did anyone have any kind of questions at all about what we've kind of spoke about tonight, or anything in particular?
I'll just unmute everyone.
We could unmute. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
If people don't want to type and they want to talk, feel free. Some epic music going on there. That's cool.
Anyone? Any questions?
Anyone? Nothing?
Yes.
Good. Oh, I've got a
Alfred.
question. Awesome.
Hi, Alfred.
Hi. It was very inspiring. It's very interesting. I have a very basic question.
Yeah.
To be able to trade, I first have to have some just normal money. Because what am I trading with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need some money to then turn into Bitcoin. So you need to buy some Bitcoin or Ethereum or a cryptocurrency, and then you trade with that.
I have some. I'm on this. We call it holding or something,
Yeah.
But I don't understand how I trade with Bitcoin. Can I buy new Bitcoin with Bitcoin? I don't get that. I don't get this principle. For me, it sounds like I have to have some dollars somewhere in a basket, and then I trade with them.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Yeah, basically, if you have Bitcoin, right, the price goes up and down. There's a range. And on the trading platforms, there's trading pairs. So it's always paired with another currency or another coin. So you can trade Bitcoin to US dollars. You can trade Bitcoin to Ethereum. You could trade Bitcoin to, I don't know, name a coin, Troy coin. There's probably a Troy coin out there.
I think there actually is. But what you're saying, Alfred, is that, are you saying that you mean you already have some crypto and you want to know how to trade it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sweet. Great. I was just clarifying that,
Yeah, that's what the course is about. So you basically sell high and you buy low. So say you've got one Bitcoin and it's worth $1,000, and then Bitcoin's price becomes $2,000. You might sell half of that coin to USD or Norwegian krone or whatever currency, and then if the price goes down, then you can buy back more Bitcoin, right?
Okay.
Using what you have in krone. Yeah. So you just basically trade. There's
that's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks.
Cool. Awesome, Adele. So you had the same question. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, I hope we've answered that. Yeah, cool. And like, so for example, right, so for the 5 people who sign up, you will get, so we would send you like $50, but even though it's going to be $50 of US dollar value, but we could send you, let's say you're like, hey, Troy and Kev, I'm actually trading with Bitcoin. Can I have my $50 in Bitcoin? And we'll send you the US dollar equivalent value of Bitcoin. And like what Kev said before, you can trade between coins, but you can also trade against a currency as well, like the US dollar.
So can you guys see my screen here, where over here it says XBT USD? So I'm basically trading this is the code for Bitcoin on this particular exchange, and I'm trading it for US dollars. And this one coin is ADA, and I'm trading that for a U20 Bitcoin. So yeah, the pairs are marked together. Actually, this is like one of my bots trading history. So you can see there, some things are in profit. I lost a bit of money there, but that was like 84 cents. But if I go to let's go to a trading sheet, a chart, sorry.
So all you guys are, oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, over here, see, Malfred, like in your case, you've got Bitcoin, and you can choose here, you can trade between these, different coins. Or if you have, like in my case, I have USDT, which is another cryptocurrency, and I could trade that with any of these pairs. So if I want to buy Bitcoin, because say that, the market is going lower at the moment, I could go here and go, okay, do my charting, draw things up and go, okay, when the price, see over here on the right side, the price goes up and down. Whatever the price is, I might decide, okay, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin around this level here. And then I might sell it when it's 12,500. Or if the price is going down, I might go, okay, I might sell it from this point since you have some, and then I'm going to wait for the market to go back down here and then buy some there. So that's essentially how you would do trading.
And that's covered in detail. Like we only spent 90 minutes on it tonight, but the detail is there. And I guess the other great thing, and the reason why we recommend the course, is because they explain it in a very layman's terms, kind of real basic way, which is how I learn. So back when I did it, that's how I learn. So don't just think, oh, Troy and Kev can do it. That's because they've been in crypto for so long. It doesn't matter. I was actually in crypto for a while before I actually learned how to trade. And even though I knew all about crypto and how it works and everything, trading's different to that. And they explained it in such a good way, where it was like they do a lot of connections back to the real world. So the old world and the new world. So new world digital currency, but they relate it back to the old world. So you can kind of like, oh, that's what it's like. That's how it is. And you can really start to relate it to things, and it starts to connect.
Yeah, the course itself, like to learn the meat and potatoes of it, it's about 13 videos, I think. Roughly 13 videos, about an hour to an hour too long. When I first got into the course, I watched them all, like, binge watching on Netflix. I watched them all on double speed because like some parts I already knew. And then I watched it again on like normal speed. And then I watched it a third time to like really get the bits that I'd forgotten. And so it's not something that you'll get overnight. But the beauty of it is that the videos are there, so you can refer to them again. Like, you'll, again, like we said before, with patterns repeating and history repeating, you might have like this image of the red car in your head, or the red shape that you're looking for. And then eventually, as you scan through the charts, you find, oh, there's that shape. Let me just go back to that video where they talk about breaking resistance or putting in a trade or whatever, and just touch up on that just to make sure before I put the trade in. And then or you can, also ask for advice in the community. But yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah.
It's a skill. It's like anything, learning to ride a bike. Like, you'll wobble a bit when you first start, and then, you might need some training wheels, and then eventually, you get to ride the bike really smoothly. And, Troy and I are here, as well as 6,000 other people in the community. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Kevin, Troy, Shanga here. Hi, everyone. Hi, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what sort of criteria have you got to choose the type of coin? Like, so you got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin, all these different sort of coins. So how does that fit? Like, how do you choose which one you're gonna get?
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of like market analysis that you would do to find out, okay, those coins are basically bits of technology, right? Bits of companies. It's the same thing as stocks, right? There's people behind it, or a team behind a coin that's working on a particular project. So you would look at what are those people working on, and seeing what the potential value is in the market. Oh, sorry, movement. Sorry, Eddie, I'll just mute you there.
I was enjoying that, mate. But
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you have to do a little bit of research on what coins you personally want to trade yourself, because there's, like I said, there's 7,500 different pairs, but you can also just stick with like the top 10 or top 20 when you're first starting out. At least that there's movement in those markets. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, so coinmarketcap.com or coingecko.com, you'll find which coins are moving up and down. You can click on their websites. You can do a whole bunch of research. Like I said, there's so much in this that Troy and I can't cover in an hour or two. But this is just like a sort of get started.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. And you start to get Shang, just so you know, you start to get it's like favorite coins, but in a really good way. So how, I don't know if you've ever held coins and you're like, I really love this coin and I've held it from like $8 and now it's worth like 20 cents. It's like, I really love this coin, I'm going to hang on. But what you get in the trading world, you get favorites that actually make you money. So you start to realize that certain coins, and this might sound crazy, but it's true, and Kev will back me up on this, certain coins have trading and movements that it does repeatedly.
Yeah.
And happens all the time. And you start to get favorite coins that you trade because the probability of them doing those same movements and those same things happen time and time and time again. So as you kind of delve into it, you really start to realize that.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that answer where you're coming from? Sorry, Shane, we kind of went off a bit topic a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I think we'll call it an evening, eh?
Yeah, we've had a pretty big slog here, nearly 2 hours. So thanks everyone for staying on, and really appreciate it. Like what we said before, do you want to just put that the Calendly link back up? We'll post it in the group anyway, guys. Everyone here is in Crypto Collective, are they? Yes, I'm thinking.
Pretty sure, yeah.
We'll post it up in the group anyway. But yeah, guys, jump on to. Oh, there it is. Write it down or screenshot it. I'll put it back up anyway. We'll put it up. But yeah, we'd love to work through with you guys. I think like we heard from Greg and before, and that who've been in the group, and they're really starting to get a lot out of it, which is awesome. And there's a whole nother angle to this as well, where there's a crazy side that we only touched on tonight, but there's like a whole independent business owner side where you can actually make even more money apart from trading. There's all this crazy stuff that happens. So we really feel like there's so many areas of this business that people can profit from. So that's why we kind of like are promoting it. But absolutely, Kev, I'll let you do the sign off, mate.
No worries. Well, thanks everyone. And we'll see you in the Crypto Collective group, and just hit us up and go and book a call there if you want to do the thing. So thanks so much for your time and for listening and for all the questions and the interactivity. Thank you, Troy, for getting me into this. And hopefully, I'll be able to see some of you over here when the borders open up and we can do some trading here, or not. We can just sip pina coladas in the pool. So couple and cup, as they say here. Thank you. And good night.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.